welcome back everyone. Good to see you again, stopping by for another video. So I got a special request in the comments to do a video on the Pittsburgh Penguins outlook for next season and what I think of their players and prospects. So I just kind of broke it down on the board and on the paper, and yeah, looking forward to breaking down every team, and the Penguins are definitely an interesting one, so we'll get right into it. So in 2019-20 last year, the Pittsburgh Penguins finished the season, the shortened season, with a 40-23-6 record, good for 86 points in the standings, and 5th in the Eastern Conference, followed by 3rd in the Metro Division. So they were in the middle of the pack, and that's why with the play-in round, which they would have made the playoffs anyways in a regular year, but they got stuck in the play-in round because they were a middle of the pack team. Similar situation what happened with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So a lot of people say, kind of unfair for those teams to be in the spot, but we had to work with what we had this year. So I think it was a great year for the Penguins overall, especially a lot of the role players, the ones they had to part with, some of them this year. And Genny Malkin really impressed me, and I'll get to it in a second about how he contributed to the Penguins, but I think it was a great year personally for a lot of players, and including Sidney Crosby, even though he had limited time. He played only 49 games, and I would have liked to see what they could have done if they weren't interrupted. I feel like they were really clicking, and a lot of their players were getting it done when they had to. So it was unfortunate that they got eliminated by the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal upset them. I don't really think it was as much of an upset because the Penguins didn't really play with it. It just didn't seem like in the back half of that series they played with as much heart and tenacity as they usually do. But it could be a lot of factors of why: injuries, lack of fans, the big break that they had. So yeah, we'll just get into the leaders who were on the team this year. So the leader on the team for goals was Brian Rust with 27. Again, if you extend that out to over 82 games, if he played all 82 in a full season, he would have had well over 30 goals. And assists and points leader is Evgeny Malkin. So Malkin had 49 assists, which that would have probably been around a 65-point or assist season, and over the course of the season, he probably would have surpassed 100 points. But again, modern NHL players that are in the league now, it's not unheard of to pass 100 points. It feels like we're back in the era of that just being the common thing. When you look back a few years ago when Jamie Benn won the Art Ross Trophy, he only had 84 points that year. So to get to 100 points and not be named Sidney Crosby on the Pittsburgh Penguins, I think really proves all the haters on Malkin wrong. And my friend who recommended this video, him and I have had conversations at length about people's takes on Malkin, and year after year, even after Cup wins or the years in between 2009 and 16, when there were no Cups and they were having a lot of playoff disappointments, they would always throw Malkin under the bus for things, whether if Crosby wasn't producing and they tried that big line, or when Crosby was out, they would always have a way to blame things on Malkin. And I think he will go down as one of the most unappreciated players in the history of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and one of the top ones in the NHL. And just you watching him, he's a complete beast on the ice. He still has an amazing shot, great on the power play, he's a bully, and I don't think they ever could have got a perfect partner for Sidney Crosby, even though they're on different lines, and he's a great player. So he's definitely deserved to lead the Penguins in points this year. So we'll get to the plus-minus leaders. So that was a tie between Dumoulin and John Marino, and they were both plus 17, and Marino, who was their young defenseman, he got a lot of power play time this year, and as did Dumoulin. Although Dumoulin didn't produce as offensively as Marino, they both benefited from Crosby being in front of them for the most part and them being on the top pair for a lot of the times. So their plus minus grew, and their goals for and against, their goals for wasn't like high compared to their goals against, but they were approaching the top end of the league. So as long as you can keep your goals for higher than your goals against and you play a decent job, you're a playoff team. And your defense are going to thank you for it, and your goalie's going to thank you for it. So, on to the goaltending situation. I didn't write down how many wins Murray had, but Murray did lead the team in wins. So, with Murray gone to the Ottawa Senators, is Jarry going to be enough? And I can't say for sure based on experience, but I don't watch the Pittsburgh Penguins as much, so I think this is more of an opinion piece that would be good hearing from a Pittsburgh fan and what they think of Jarry, however you want to say it, on a nightly basis, since he is going to be the starter in Pittsburgh. But what do you guys think of him when he does start? What I see is a goalie that worked his tail off in the AHL and proved that he didn't belong there anymore, and when he got his chance, even when he was the third string, when Fleury was still in Pittsburgh, he got his chance to go in there and kind of showed that he was worth keeping around. And clearly they think that it was worth parting with Matt Murray, who won 2 Stanley Cups with them and was a surprise starter in that first playoff series in 2016. So I guess they're going to go with him, and we're going to see if the Pittsburgh Penguins are going somewhere, Jarry has to go somewhere with them. So as far as he can take them, they'll go. And it won't surprise me if they were to flame out, and it won't surprise me if they are in the Eastern Conference Final next year, trying to battle to get to the Cup. So, goaltending is definitely going to be the biggest question this year, no doubt about it, unless he comes out on fire. So, a few factors to the season that we'll talk about. So, you guys got some center depth on the Penguins now, and so Travis Jankowski. Not Travis, thinking of the wrong sport. So Jankowski got a 1-year, $700,000 deal, so league minimum, but they do need that depth up the center because you guys did lose a couple players. So, and those players being, I know Hornquist isn't a center, but you guys lost Nick Bjugstad and Hornquist both traded. So what the Penguins got back was Matheson from the Florida Panthers and Colton Sevier. I wouldn't say that's an upgrade. Matheson is kind of an up-and-down defenseman. Maybe the coaches in Pittsburgh can find something in him, which, they've seemed to be able to find a lot of things in players that weren't appreciated. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him fit right in. And one factor that I think a lot of people are forgetting about is that Malkin underwent elbow surgery in August. And since if the January 1st date is the day that the season is going to start, how ready will he, how quick can he get ready? It does say that he's supposed to be ready, but how prepared is he going to be? How strong is his body going to be? And it's not a normal season, so I think a lot of players are going to be rushed back, and hopefully he comes back 100% healthy for them. So we'll take a quick look at the 3 top prospects. So, I only have the one written up here, but I have 3 written down on the paper. So, you guys have Valtteri Puustinen, who is a right winger, plays for HPK of Liga, Finnish Elite League, and he's playing over there with men, and I think there's nothing better for an undersized forward to do than get experience with guys that he'll be playing with, get that size experience. So if you're been playing with guys your size your whole life, it's never a bad experience to go and play with guys who are the size of NHLers or even ex-NHLers that end up over there. So, and on pick out of the QMJHL was Nathan Legare. He's a left winger who plays for Baie-Comeau of the QMJHL. Again, left wing, right wing combo, undersized, and he's still got time left on his junior eligibility, so he'll be there for probably a couple more seasons. And the Pittsburgh Penguins' top prospect, the standout one is definitely, no doubt about it, Samuel Poulin. He's again, they're really high on the left wing, right wing combo players. He plays for Sherbrooke of the QMJHL. And from what I've read about him, he's a very sound-minded, two-way defender. A lot of people say that kind of reminiscent of like a Chris Kunitz, and that would fit in perfectly with Pittsburgh. I mean, they had Chris Kunitz. Doesn't mean he's going to be a Chris Kunitz, but it's just saying that if a young player already has that defensive game developed, that's a part that's going to be so much easier to teach, and a lot of things are going to come naturally. So those are the top 3 prospects right there. And I'm going to predict for next season that the Penguins are going to jump up 1 spot. I don't think they're going to pass the Flyers. I think the Flyers are going to have a big breakout year. And Carter Hart already predicted that he might win the Vezina. And I think this is the year that the Flyers really take over that division. I just think the Penguins are a hair shy of that, but we'll see what they do on this offseason. They could do more. They could make trades to improve, and they already have. I don't think they're done yet. So right now I'm saying that they're going to be second in the Metro Division, and they should climb a little higher than 5th in the East. Maybe they can come up to 4th. Still going to be a playoff team, no doubt about it. I don't think you're ever counting the Penguins out. So that's my rundown and overview on this year's and what next year is going to look like for the Pittsburgh Penguins. If anyone else has their team that they want me to do, someone already told me to do the Buffalo Sabres. That's going to come up tomorrow. I'll do whatever you want for you. I'll talk about prospects, teams, anything you want. So I'm still working on a baseball video that is supposed to be out this weekend. It's a lot of research. So I thank everyone who came by and liked, commented, subscribed. Appreciate every one of you. And I hope you enjoy Game 4 of the World Series tonight.